What's up guys, this is Alejandro from Playing with Fire, and I want to make a quick video to go over a topic that I see a lot of guys struggling with, and that's how do you text a girl that you met in real life. I see guys struggling with this in the forums, which by now you absolutely should be a part of. I see guys struggling with this in the Facebook groups. I haven't seen guys struggling with this in the mastermind, which just breaks my heart. So basically, what happens? A guy meets a girl at a bar, walking home, at a grocery store, whatever, and for whatever reason, logistically, it can't happen at that point, so they can't hook up at that time. So they exchange numbers, the girl's into the guy, you know, she might legitimately want to meet up with him, and then the guy just completely sinks or Titanics his value in a series of autistic texts, and the girl loses attraction, right? So commonly what I will see is, I mean, there's a series of mistakes I see guys making. The most common one is just being too gamey or fancy, trying to, you know, use like these like super witty lines, or just making things like significantly more complex than necessary, and the girl starts rethinking her initial impression of the guy. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm actually going to walk you through and one of my interactions. This is a girl that I met as I was walking home one night. I'm gonna show you exactly how I went from the opener text to having her come straight over my place, right? So I'm gonna walk you through everything, kind of cover, you know, exactly what I did, why I did what I did, and hopefully by the end of the video, you'll have a very solid idea of what you should do and what you absolutely should not do. All right, so before we dive into the text, I'm going to give you the quick backstory. So one night I was walking home, I see a cute Latina, and well, if you know me, you know Latinas are my weakness, and if you're a Latina who's watching this, well, now you know. I see a cute Latina with two phones, and I open her with, hey, look at you, two phones in your hands, you must be multitasking like crazy. Again, I don't really have canned openers to do any of that weird shit. I just usually say whatever comes to my mind, which is the most natural thing you can probably do. She looks at me, and I can see her eyes light up a little bit, and we start chatting and flirting a little bit. Contrary to popular belief, attraction actually happens within 30 seconds, a minute or two. A girl decides pretty fast if you're a guy that she wants to, you know, talk to and get to know, or if you're a guy that she wants to get the fuck away from. This is determined by, you know, obviously your looks, your sexual market value, but also your body language and your eye contact. You know, after that 30 seconds to a minute, you can obviously build on that attraction, just keep increasing it, or you can plummet it by doing beta or weird shit, but the initial attraction happens pretty fast. And if you've been doing this long enough, you can usually spot it pretty fast. So I can tell she's, you know, she's into me. We talk for maybe 5-10 minutes, and the interaction goes actually really, really well. You know, she matches my eye contact. She has like the glazed over eyes, you know, which shows that, you know, she's really attracted. I even tried to invite her straight to my place because we were standing outside, and, you know, it seemed like like it could possibly go down, but logistically, unfortunately, it wasn't possible. She had to, it's a long story, but she had to get her car, meter was expiring, blah, blah, blah. Just logistically, it wasn't possible. So instead of really pushing for it, you know, I say that she should come over sometime soon for wine. We exchange phone numbers, and there's a lot of sexual tension, so I give her a hug, and then I make it like a slow, dragged out hug, kind of the kind that maybe your grandma might give you, but, you know, I just kind of keep it going, stare into her eyes, brush past her hair, and then kiss her. We make out for a little bit, and then I pull back the kiss. I don't want to overdo it. I want to keep the sexual tension high and just end the whole thing off on a very high note, right? So about half an hour after that, I send her a text, and let's crack into that. I send her, my opener is Alex with a winky face. So two things. First off, there are some misconceptions out there that you should wait a few days before you text a girl. That's complete horseshit. If you wait that long, the girl will completely forget who you are, and then you will have to deal with the awkward "who are you" question. You don't want that. So text the girl pretty fast after you meet her. Also, what I see some guys doing is they'll send these like overly complex, overly just unnecessarily text like, hey, it's Alex, I met you at blah, 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 we talked about blah, 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 and we said that we were going to do blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. Just keep things very simple. So I say Alex with a winky face. She responds with, hey hon, found my car. So what she's doing is she's referencing the fact that she was looking for her car when we met, referencing, you know, our initial interaction. I respond with, good, my kisses must be lucky. So what I'm doing here is I'm calling back a high point of our interaction, which is when we made out, but I'm doing it in like a non-try-hard, kind of like a funny tongue-in-cheek type of way. If I had said, oh, it was really nice, good, it was really nice kissing you or something like that, then it would have kind of lost me value, because it's okay, like, if it was so good, why are you talking about that type of thing? But if you do it in like a smooth, kind of like tongue-in-cheek kind of way that rolls with interaction, it's actually a really good thing. You know, you make her recall a very high point in the interaction. And it works. She replies with, nice kisses, with a kissy face, and sends me a cute picture of her laying in bed, and says, good night, it was nice to meet you. So it's late, she's going to sleep, I can tell not much is going to happen there, so I end the thing, I send a text that says, buenas noches, linda, which for you gringos out there, it means good night, cutie, right? So end things off on a high note, not much more is going to happen that night. And she writes, spokojnej noci krasivik, which is Russian. I told her I was Russian, and it means good night, handsome. And that text actually shows a lot of investment, because I know for a fact that she doesn't know Russian, so she had to go into Google Translate, type in good night, handsome, get the translation, and send to me. So that's a good sign, shows that she's invested, she's interested, right? A girl who doesn't give a shit about you is just not going to bother to do that. I text her the next day around 2 o'clock, and I say, did you get the job? So again, I'm referencing part of our interaction, and that's a common theme you will see throughout not just this interaction, but all my interactions with girls I met in real life. I'm always referencing things that we talked about, or that, you know, that during the initial interaction, right? Basically treating her like a dear old friend, or I guess a better way of putting it, like an already established booty call, right? Like, I'm not treating her like a girl that I don't know anything about yet, and setting the whole I'm gonna get to know you over text frame. No, I'm not doing that. Just keeping things very simple. Did you get the job? She says, hello, yes, I got it. We'll start tomorrow night. How are you? So, perfect text. I'm going to use this as a way, as like a perfect segue to escalate. So another thing is you can strategically ignore girls' questions. You don't have to answer or respond to every single thing a girl says. You can just respond to part of the message that suits you best. So I ignore her "how are you" thing and say, must have been really lucky kiss then, we should celebrate. Again, I'm referencing that just oh so amazing kiss that we had. I'm doing it in a not try hard way. It kind of makes sense in the interaction. And then I move things forward by saying we should celebrate, so I'm not just leaving dead air after the kiss comment, right? She responds with, I guess your kiss was a lucky charm, think we should celebrate, right? So perfect. Again, and this is kind of like I'm moving things towards the soft close, you know, moving things forward, talking about us hanging out, and that's kind of just, I'm just always smoothly moving things forward. I say, do you like wine? Now, I already know the answer to this because we talked about wine in person. But again, I just want to build that compliance ladder, get her agreeing, just make things as smooth as possible. She says, I love wine and vodka, and you, question mark. Okay, good text. You know, she likes wine, so I use that as another segue to escalate some more and say, I'm Russian, so vodka's in my blood. Let's put a bottle of wine in my romantic balcony. And that's what you call a soft close. Basically is I'm pitching that general idea of us meeting, but I'm not setting a hard date and time. So you always want a soft close before you hard close. You want to get the girl on board to the general idea of hanging out with you. Even if you did that in person, which I did, you want to, you know, some time has passed, so you want to redo that, get her on board with the general idea of hanging out before you go for the hard close. Just makes things a lot more smooth, increases your odds of things flowing well. She says, I knew that, hon, about the vodka, LL. That sounds very pleasing offer. When would you be able to share wine with me? So that's the perfect text, and it's perfect because she's actually going into logistics for me. So she's asking, when can we get together for this wine? I say, you feeling spontaneous tonight? I sense a lot of compliance, so I just see if I can get her over that night. She says, would love to, but since tomorrow I'll be there working tonight, need to take care of things at home, you should come and visit me. So basically what she's saying is that, hey, I'd love to come over, but tonight I'm busy, right? So an amateur mistake that some guys might make here, which obviously I'm not gonna make, is that they might keep pushing for that night, you know, keep pushing, no, that's a bad call. You know, if a girl's interested in hanging out with you, but she can't that night, you don't want to just keep pushing for a day that's hard for her. You want to pick a better time and thus significantly increase your flake rate and significantly increase compliance. So I say, I understand. Around what time do you finish tomorrow? So here we're just purely in logistical mode. Again, I'm moving things forward. You don't want to move things forward and then take a step back. Another mistake I sometimes see guys make. We're in the logistical phase, so no more banter, just moving things forward, getting logistics down. She says 3 a.m., maybe I can see you before start 10 p.m. Perfect. So she's actually throwing out the idea of her coming over before she starts work. I say yes, say 8. So what I want to do is kind of lock down the time here. That makes the meet a lot more solid. She says, that sounds good to me, but if you can't make it, I will let you know, kissy face. So I respond with perfect with a winky face, and she says great with a smiley face, right? So perfect. Next day around 1:30, I text her hola linda, and that's just a great text overall in general for any Spanish or Latin girls. It's much better than saying like, hey, what's up? It means hi cutie, but just sounds nice, and typically I have had a very, very high response rate with that to any girl who speaks Spanish. And she replies with hola guapo, how are you, question mark. Hola guapo means hey handsome, which as you can see is obviously very appropriate. I respond with good minus some random neck pain. I see you at 8, question mark. And she says, oh, that's not good. I'll try my best to be there at 8. If I can't, I'll let you know when I'm heading out to there. So again, that's a great text. She's saying, yes, I'm down. And you know, if for some reason I'm running late, I'll let you know. I say, sounds good. She's like, nice, see you later then. So perfect. You know, 7-ish rolls around. Some guys might make the mistake of, you know, getting a little antsy and like, you know, like bombarding the girl with messages. Oh, are you leaving? Blah, blah, blah. You don't want to do that. You know, obviously if it gets past 8, I might text her and see where she's at. But oftentimes, just by not being needy, you avoid that whole thing. And at 7:45, I get a text that says, hi there, I'm getting ready now, so should be leaving home around 8. I say, perfect, address is blah, blah, blah. She says, see you soon with a winky face. A winky face. Ooh. So I say, how far of a drive is it? She says, I'm on my way, and sends me her Lyft tracking thing, some fancy new technology where I can monitor her ride and see exactly when she's going to arrive. I send her one of these, and she says, do you want to meet downstairs? Now, that's actually a common text you will get from girls, especially Tinder girls. Basically what will happen is that the girl will be on board with coming over, and then the last second she'll realize, oh shit, I'm going to a stranger's house, I better meet him downstairs to make sure he's not a catfish or a total weirdo or, you know, whatever. So I respond with, sure, text me when you're outside. She says, I'm almost there, and then she says, I'm here. And I say coming, spelled very wittily with a C-U-M. So, and then she says, okay. So then we meet downstairs, go upstairs, and play some vigorous chess all night. All right, so what are the lessons that you saw from this interaction? First, keep things as simple as possible. I see sometimes guys, you know, trying to overcomplicate things, adding unnecessary complexity, trying to be fancy or gamey, which is something I've talked about over and over again. You don't want to do that. The more complicated you make things, the higher the chance that something is going to go wrong. The more simple you keep things, the less the room for error. So you always want to just keep things as simple as possible. And that's the big theme in this, you know, that you saw in this whole interaction. I'm just keeping things very simple. Now I'm being fun and flirty, you know, I'm being polarizing, I'm continuing the vibe that we had, but I'm not adding unnecessary complexity when it doesn't need to be there, right? Just very simple. Second one is always move things forward in just as smooth a way as possible. You always want to be moving things forward strategically in just like a very smooth flowing way. What that means is that you throw out the general idea of meeting up, you go for the soft close, then you go for the hard close. You're always just moving things forward, but you're doing it in just like as smooth a way as possible. It's kind of hard to describe this into words, but kind of going through the interaction, I'm sure you had the feeling like, wow, that just felt smooth. And that's how the girl feels. You know, when you make things just smooth, when you're smoothly moving things forward, it feels to the girl like it's very natural, like you guys, like she knows you really well, you know. it just feels better to the girl. Like when you do abruptly, you know, you go from talking about something random to, hey, do you want to come over tonight at 8? Like, it's like a hard thing for the girl, and you significantly increase your chance of getting flaked on or having the girl say no. If you just move things very smoothly, but you keep moving them forward, your odds of, you know, getting yes, getting compliance are going to be much, much higher. And the third big thing is I'm assuming attraction, I'm assuming familiarity, I'm assuming comfort, unless given information otherwise, right? So what I'm not doing is I'm not trying to get to know the girl over text. I'm not trying to, you know, build rapport or, you know, build banter. I'm just assuming everything and, you know, referencing the arc of the conversation that we had a lot, you know? So basically the vibe I have is, hey, me and this girl are already, you know, we're already like dear old friends. She's already my booty call. I'm just assuming everything positive. Now, sometimes, you know, judging by the vibe, the girl might, you might sense that the girl's not totally comfortable with you yet. At that point, you might do a voice memo or suggest a phone call. Again, this is only adding complexity when it's necessary. In this situation, the girl, you know, was very compliant. She seemed to be really going along with the vibe that I had, so there was no need for any of that. So I kept things simple while assuming attraction, keeping things nice, fun, and flirty, and just moving things forward. And those are the three big things. Those are the three big mistakes I see guys making. So I wanted to kind of go through a case where I just show you exactly what you need to do. So if you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend you go on the forums, forums.playingfire.com, and I'll post the link below, and where I actually share all the screenshots, and I go through, you know, like everything, through my mindset throughout the whole interaction. And it's basically like a written version of this video, but the advantage is that you get to see the screenshots in front of you while you imagine my voice reading the text to you. Very fun experience. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'm posting a lot of awesome content. Make sure you hit like to this video. And if you enjoyed like this specific style of content where I just do text breakdowns, make sure you let me know in the comments, because I have a lot of examples where, for example, things, you know, while I try to keep things simple, you know, the girl threw me some concerns or objections, I had to deal with them, where things had to be more complex, and I can break those down as well. I can break down some of my Tinder or Bumble interactions. So if you enjoy like the video text breakdowns, make sure you let me know, because that's how I know what kind of videos I should be making in the future. So thank you guys for watching. Ciao.